Hey everyone! Welcome to Fossil Discovery. My name is Jaden Darnell and I'm an educator here at Kids Commons. Today we're going to learn a few things about fossils. The first thing, we're going to learn what a fossil is, because that's pretty important for fossil discovery. The second thing we're going to learn is what the 4 different types of fossils are. And the third thing we're going to learn is what a paleontologist is and what a paleontologist does. So stick around for some fossil discovery. First, what are fossils? If you guess that fossils are the preserved remains or traces of remains of ancient organisms, you would be correct. Most of the time when we think of fossils, we think of something like this. But most of the time, the fossils that we find look more like this, and even that. As you can tell, those fossils both look a little bit different. That's because there's not just one type of fossil. There's actually 4. They're called true form, cast, trace, and mold fossils. So the first type of fossil we are exploring is a true form fossil. True form fossils are body parts of an organism that have been replaced by minerals. That's pretty cool. True form fossils are formed by a process called petrification. Which is a very big word. Some other examples of true form fossils are insects that are preserved in amber and woolly mammoths that are trapped in ice. Another type of fossil you can find are called trace fossils. Also called ichnofossils, these fossils do not contain information about the organism itself. Rather, they contain information of traces left by the organism. Common examples of trace fossils include burrows, nests, footprints like these, and dung or poop. That's pretty gross. Check it out, guys. I just found a couple of mold fossils, which just happens to be the next type of fossil we are going to talk about. So come take a look at these. Come in close. Okay, not that close. So a mold fossil is a fossilized imprint made in the substrate. The substrate is the rock or sediment on which a fossil makes its mark. As you can see here, mold fossils are hollow. Due to the way this type of fossil is formed, what you get is a negative image of the part of the organism's body that made the impression. In other words, it's backwards. All right, so the final fossil that we are going to talk about is called a cast fossil. And I think I left some cast fossils somewhere around. Oh yeah, right there. All right. So here are some examples of a cast fossil. So cast fossils start out as mold fossils actually, with an imprint made in the rock or sediment. However, with a cast fossil, once the mold is made, it fills up with minerals that later harden and form solid rock, making a cast. So a cast is actually what you guys are going to make in this class today. So let's head on down to the program room and make our cast. Before we make our cast, like we're just about to do, we need to talk about what kind of person might do an experiment like this. So the type of person that might do an experiment like this is called a paleontologist. All right, so paleontologists are scientists who study the history of life on Earth. This is a lot to study. And they study that history through the fossil record. A paleontologist uses fossil remains to understand different aspects of extinct and living organisms. For instance, the true form fossil behind me has very big, sharp teeth. So we can guess that he probably ate lots of meat. So now that we know what a fossil is, what the 4 different types of fossils are, and what a paleontologist is, we are ready to become paleontologists and make our own cast fossil. All right, so the materials that you need to make a cast fossil are red Solo cup, a styrofoam bowl, some Vaseline, Play-Doh, plaster of Paris, a stirrer stick, and a 3/4 cup of water. And last but certainly not least, you're going to need a shell that's going to make your fossil. Alright, so now that you're finished making your cast fossils, if you want to go and test out your paleontologist skills even further, you can pick up the shark tooth key and match the shark teeth up to the ones on this paper. And you can do a dinosaur puzzle and use these fossils right here to match them to each other and spell out the name of a very cool dinosaur. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed Fossil Discovery.